Hi everyone, this is my review of Memoir 44 Winter Wars. This is an expansion for Memoir 44, focusing on the Ardennes offensive. So let's have a look at the back of the box. For the most part, this expansion really is two main components. One is a load of additional scenery tiles to fit the winter theme, and the second is a bunch of additional cards. Now, to get the most from the expansion pack, and it does call it out on the back of the box, you really do need the Eastern Front and the Breakthrough kit, as well as the Winter Stroke Desert board. And I've got an example set up in a minute we'll have a look at. But you do get the additional rule book, which has got some new winter rules, which are great. I've played through all those. You get some new scenarios, so 10 new scenarios, 6 of which are standard scenarios, which you'll be able to play with this, with the winter board and with the base Memoir 44 game. And then you get an additional 4 breakthrough scenarios. So you'll need that breakthrough kit to make the most out of those. You get a bunch of cards introducing new components such as tank destroyers, heavy anti-tank guns, machine guns, bazookas, that kind of thing. You get some additional command cards which are used for the breakout gameplay. You get 20 winter combat cards which you can use in the normal game. And then, as I said, you get 88 new tiles, and we'll have a look at those in a second. But first off, let's have a look at the rulebook. So in the rules, it describes any additional new rules for this expansion, describes how you use the winter combat cards, and we'll have a look at those in a second. Breakthrough cards, and again, you'll need the breakthrough kit to get the most out of those. There's a few new counters, new obstacles and tokens, and these are really, as with the terrain tiles, to replace the terrain tiles that you normally use to fit aesthetically with the winter board for this expansion. There's some counters for infantry with anti-tank guns, mortars and machine guns, as well as heavy tank guns. You've got some mobile artillery, some half tracks, and then you're into the sort of the mission scenario descriptions. I've played through all of these multiple times now. They're great, and I've got one set up on the board we'll have a look at in a second. The sort of format is as you would expect. Tells you the tiles that you're going to be using, the units that you're going to be using, and these are a lot of fun and very historically in keeping. I play a lot of historical based war games, and these felt like they got enough historical flavour for me, which was awesome. And these are a lot of fun. You get a whole bunch of these. I'll just flip through them quickly. One thing that you will find, and I will show this on the board I've got set up, is that it's using a lot of terrain tiles. So just take a little time to set up, I would say. But there you go. So you've got all those as well. I just finished playing this one quite recently with my kids, which was awesome. These are the breakthrough missions, so you get a bunch of those. So if you've got the breakout kit, you'll get a whole bunch of those as well. You don't need the breakout kit for this expansion, but if you want to play through those, you will do, and you get a bunch of those as well. Again, as normal with Memoir 44, everything's clearly written. Didn't have any problems with the rules. It's nicely laid out, full colour, well written, well edited, and absolutely great. So as you can see, I've got a game set up here. This is using the winter board. You're going to need the winter board, I'll be honest with you. Setting the new winter tiles up on the green board just wouldn't look, very appealing. You don't technically need it, but I think for the best experience, you really do. All the models are from the base game. You don't get any new figures or models for this game. What you do get is a whole bunch of new cards I talked about. They add additional historical chrome and flavour to the game. So, for example, Winter Weather is a new card. It means that the armour can't move quite as far, but they can on roads, for example, which is in keeping with the Ardennes. You also get a whole bunch of new combat cards here. And again, They had new set of rules for the players to take advantage of. They're very historically authentic and in keeping, which is great, and add that extra depth. Speaking of all the extra depth in the game, new units. So we've got some tank destroyers. They have their own set of sub rules, which are very straightforward. Basically gives them a bit more punch against armor, but conversely they're a little bit weaker. All the scenarios are great. I played through them all thoroughly, enjoyed every single one of them. They all have, again, in keeping with this game, that historical light flavour, and are a lot of fun, well balanced. Will ensure a good evening's game, and we've thoroughly enjoyed them all. I play Memoir mostly with my kids, with gamers who don't play a lot of the heavier sort of historical war games that I sometimes play. And but even so, I still always enjoy coming back to this game. It plays quick. It's if you've got Memoir 44, if you've got the Winter board, this is a great expansion. If you're new to Memoir 44, or you're new to buying expansions, I'm not sure I would recommend this as one of the first expansions, simply because to get the most of it, you need the Winter board, you need the Soviet Eastern Front expansion, and you need the breakthrough stuff to get everything out of the expansion. As a bare minimum, you need the Winter board, I would say. But if you've got those things, then if you want to play the Ardennes, this is a great historical, rich experience. Then absolutely. And we've thoroughly enjoyed it. All the components are top notch as normal. All the rules are very straightforward for all the extra things. What I would say, if you're completely new to Memoir 44, you don't need the expansions. There's so much great content in just the base game for you to learn and enjoy and play. Because with the expansions, with all the extra rules, comes an extra level of, I would say, complexity. Which, when you're familiar with the game, it comes natural. It's fine. It comes natural. But when you're learning the game, you don't need that. But overall, I find the setting of the Ardennes incredibly rich. There's loads of great historical detail and extra cards and the extra units. It's a great expansion in that regard, and we thoroughly enjoyed all the missions. So great stuff. And thanks for watching as ever.